90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. You're tuned into another episode of your favorite Big Brother commentary show. This is the Diary Room. Yippee! Here for our Week 2 recap, Sunday, July 28th. I am your host, Emily Emol McCormack, and I am joined by Hugo.
Oh my God, it's Chris, just Chris, still Chris, always Chris, in the diary room. We're in the diary
Yeah,
room, baby. It's
we're
week
in.
2, the first full week of Big Brother 26. The ball is rolling,
It's
doing
rolling!
it's doing a roll.
And
Oh,
there's a lot more that happened this week
it was a
than the
lot. It
first
was a
week.
big first week. This is probably the
And
most entertaining first week in a long time.
it's the least week one has been for many,
Ever.
many ever.
Many evers.
Maybe some earlier seasons, not in my memory, but yeah, I remember the last couple seasons very disappointed at, just the house of week one. It's just like, oh, everyone like speculating on socials and whatnot, saying like, oh, this is gonna be a boring season. Well, they can't accuse them of that this year, to say the least.
The showrunners did a good job this year
They did.
with the casting. I think the casting, they know, we'll get to that.
We will. We're
We'll get
proud of them.
we'll get to this.
Regardless of what you think of how this week went, you have to admit you were entertained, and if you were not,
Hmm.
weird. But anyway, we are gonna
I
go.
can't say
We're
it
gonna
was
go.
boring.
You cannot. And we're gonna recap
What
all
we're
of the
gonna do.
excitement, all of the boring intness of this first official week in the Big Brother house for season 26. We're gonna go episode by episode, do a little recap, and then talk about our thoughts. So of course, we're gonna start with the episode that aired just after you heard us last on last Sunday. Last we spoke, last you heard us in the
Last we
diary
spoke.
room, you and I and Chris and Oswald were not sure who HOH was, but it was revealed on Sunday through our first HOH comp of the season that Angela was in fact the winner of the very first HOH comp. Woo for me!
Woo! For now.
For me, that was very
For,
exciting. Because we'll get to our draft a little later, but not to brag or anything, but I may
yeah.
have had
You're
the.
up now. You're up for
I'm
now.
up for
For
now.
now.
Um, I guess this is a good time to reveal that when I was discussing this in my household, because yes, this is a household show. When I won, my brother said, "I guess Chris. No, I guess December came early because Chris missed." And I've been waiting a week to say that to you.
That was that was really good.
So shout out to Liam for that. Uh, but yes, it is true in this instance. It was a mess because my pick Angela won the HOH comp. And so let's talk about the comp a little bit. So this one was essentially you take a little puck and
It
you
was like
you
a big game of shuffleboard.
big game of shuffleboard on a board that moved, like not during the game, but it changed from round to round. And I don't know. I didn't think that they were gonna do a kind of luck of the draw. Like it wasn't really because you needed a little bit of skill, but I was surprised that they did a comp like that so early on.
Yeah. I
And
guess
so
it better
mhm,
to do it early on in the style that they did because nobody was super duper like allianced or anything, and they couldn't really like skew the results very well. You know what I mean? Like if there was a
mhm,
big alliance formed, they could have just like grouped up in the alliance and just kind of had somebody win.
mhm.
So it's good that it was more scattered.
Yeah. I kind of liked it, honestly,
It
for
was it
that.
was a pretty good competition. The competitions this week were very good.
Yeah.
I did like a lot. I did like all of them.
Hmm.
Um,
I think
that's
there
my
was
quick
some,
competition thoughts.
yeah, there was like negative feedback from last year for the most part on socials. I think a lot of people weren't so into the theme. I know I have like mixed feelings myself because that was the multiverse one where there was complaints of kind of slacking, I suppose, on some of the comps, but I feel like they're really coming back this year with
Yeah,
an
they stepped
emphasis
it
on
up this
that.
year.
And so I thought that was great. I also just liked that the board, because in the past when they've done kind of random stuff like that, it's been like a physical, it's not a physical comp, but like a skill comp, but like it's physically in the backyard with like when they throw a ball and it ends up in a slot or something. I
Yeah,
did like the tech aspect of it, especially because of the AI
how they
theme.
made the board change.
I thought that was really good. And I liked the rules. I liked how they kept switching them up. But it was funny when people's puck fell off of the table. It happened a lot.
Yeah.
But I thought it was pretty fair rules that really anyone could have won. Maybe that's, you know, maybe if I was in the comp, I may have not won. That's why I have my voice sounds like I'm questioning it at the end because I am. But I liked the first comp, and I thought it definitely was an indicator of the rest of the week, like you said. But
Yeah,
we'll get to that in a little bit
we'll get to it.
because do we just announce the nominees? I mean,
Yeah,
everyone's seen it by this point because
yeah.
the outcome of Angela winning is she puts up, oh, well, important fact, three
Oh,
people get put up. We
there
did not
is
know
three
this.
nominees this season.
We did not know this last time, which is not the first time they've done three nominees. But of course, this means that you have to upset three people, and it's week one. And by the way, no one wants to win HOH week one. Angela seemed pretty okay with it, though? Question mark.
Well,
Well, I mean, then we see how week one played out.
we'll see how week one pans out.
We see how it went out. But so three nominees are up, and Angela puts up Lisa, Kenny, and Chemo. Now, I to this day am still confused on why Chemo was put up. I love Chemo. Seems like the
I think
universe likes Chemo.
that Chemo just wasn't probably talking to Angela enough,
Hmm.
and they were just he was just kind of like a free throw up for her
Yeah.
in her mind. But I think Chemo's making his way around the house. He's got a foothold. People like him.
Hmm.
So he looks like he's gonna be having a good game for now. Hopefully he doesn't like float or nothing. But it
I
doesn't seem like he will because he's being included in the alliances.
hmm
Um,
Which is good to note too, because if you don't make an effort and you're just kind of slapped up there week one, then you could very well be the pawn for the entire season. So, we'll see how it plays out for any of the three of them. Um, and so I hope that that doesn't happen, just because I personally like Chemo, even though it's not on my team, but I still do. Notice me not talking as highly about Lisa or Kenny. My thoughts on Kenny at this point are pretty neutral,
yeah, me
but
too.
Lisa, I know preseason interviews, a lot of people had a weird feeling about her. I know we are included in that when we listen to it, but I think it's at this point that they talked about the glitter. That
Yes.
so Lisa brought edible glitter into the house and just like put it on people's food without
She put it
permission.
on Matt's abs.
Matt's abs and offered glitter food to all of the have-nots. And
Oh,
the
that was
have
terrible.
that was awful. They're
That
just
was awful.
outside. They're like, yeah, remember that part where we can't eat? Thanks, Lisa. But they kind of
Do you
took it. I
think she
think it
knew, or do you think she forgot?
that's the thing. So I think it was Tucker who's like, come on. Seriously? I think she forgot.
She probably forgot. I would have
I
forgot too.
I
I
don't think it
feel
was
like that's something I
malicious.
would have forgot if it
Mm,
wasn't me.
yeah, and it's week one. I don't have to deal with it. There's these guys out in the backyard. Oh yeah, I want to put glitter on your food, which is its own thing. I think she forgot. I don't think it was malicious, but it
Yeah.
was taken as such, I believe, by at least Tucker. But there is some chef versus chef tension in the house. Regardless, the glitter situation. Don't touch my food. Please don't touch my food. Don't put glitter in my food. And don't offer me food when you know I can't eat it. But whatever. Whatever. So those are my thoughts on Lisa. Kenny kind of neutral. I was upset that Kiva was up. But but I mean maybe the noms will change. We'll get to that in a little bit. But
Mm,
another important thing that happened on Sunday was reveal of the powers
the powers.
from premiere night.
I
And
have thought,
also you have thoughts.
I
All
have
right,
thoughts on these powers, man.
do you want to take this part away?
All right. All right. All right. So, as we did know who won,
Mm-hmm.
Mackenzie and Quinn both won powers. Now, so they did like the whole sequence where they all go into the room and find out if I got it. Oh, I didn't get it. And it's Mackenzie's turn, and she puts her hand on the monitor thing, and it's like, oh my God, you passed. And she gets a veto that she can't even control. She has she gets a veto. So like she can use it on herself to take it herself down, which is good. It's safety. Um and but the catch is that the replacement nominee is named by America, which
Mhm.
I don't know how that would work. How do you think? Do you think they'll give like one night? Do you think they're gonna like name the replacement nominee at the beginning of
Hmm.
like the next episode?
I guess there'd have to be like a night turnaround to announce it, kind of. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like
would.
how
They
you
would
get the votes
should
for
probably use it on like Wednesday, and then
yeah.
on the Wednesday episode, they'd be like America's veto, and then we'd all have to vote overnight. But then would they only announce it at the start of the eviction
Of
episode?
yeah,
So someone
which
could
would be
very well
weird.
find out they're on the block like 20 minutes before,
Exactly.
which is still longer than a double eviction. So maybe that's good, but that's interesting. Maybe
That's
they'll do that.
crazy. I don't know. We'll
But they
see.
only have so many
So,
weeks.
and that just goes to show this power is ridiculous in comparison to Quinn's power,
Mm,
where he gets to just play HOH for free for zero, for nothing.
mm-hmm.
He doesn't, it's called the deep fake HOH. Forgot to say the name. He, it is not revealed to the rest of the house that he is the HOH, but they are going to be creating an avatar of the current HOH that speaks and sounds like them on, and it will probably be like displayed on the monitor where Ainsley stands, I would assume,
Her
and
home.
it will basically just be Quinn talking through the HOH, making all of their decisions for them. What is it like? Are we seeing the disconnect between the two powers here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's something, and
that's a little
certainly
crazy.
equal in value.
It's like it's like freedom versus a get out of jail free
Hmm.
card.
Yeah, but when we're talking about this, though, I forgot about the avatar of HOH aspect of the deepfake HOH. Does this mean that they're gonna literally make like an AI version of the HOH and put it in that box?
Mhm.
That's gonna be so creepy, man.
That is gonna be really creepy.
Like I understood that Quinn would control everything,
I
which
have a
is
feeling that
nuts.
it's probably just gonna be their face and it's gonna be Ainsley's voice.
Probably.
I don't think they
Hopefully.
have enough like speak like prove me wrong, Big Brother. That would be
Mm-hmm.
pretty crazy if they can make an entire fake version of them. But We'll see.
That would be so freaky.
That would be crazy.
But what we also know though, so Mackenzie only has 4 weeks to use this veto, correct?
I believe so.
Because do you know if the same applies to the deep fake?
I would think
I think
so.
so.
Unless it's shorter because it's better, which might be a reason why it's so disproportionate because Mc
Yeah,
more time to use it, which could be good for her.
perhaps. Honestly, I feel like the worst thing that could happen as an audience member is neither of these being used
Oh,
because
that would be
though
terrible.
because they could just time out. They've done this in the past where we don't find out what happens, they don't ever utilize it. And like I understand sometimes it doesn't help everyone's game, but
Yeah.
come on, I want to know. I want to know
Quinn
the
would be the type
question
to not use his power as the thing.
and like
Because
and that
it
one.
would be so hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a very difficult to pilot power because you actually have to like strategize
Mm-hmm.
and you gotta like try to use it because you have to act like the HOH
Mm-hmm.
because you can't act like yourself or else like if the rest of the house knows that who Quinn is working with, he can't like save or not put up like if the HOH is like targeting people he's working with. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like it would be obvious that it's him or someone in
Yeah.
his circle,
You
which would
know
probably be really bad.
what just like what if Quinn has 4 weeks to use it too, and it's the fourth week and he wins HOH? Can he use the deepfake HOH on his
On
own?
himself.
Because like I just realized that if he uses it on himself, he could put up whoever he wants, but he's got to be like, oh no, it wasn't me, it was the deepfake HOH, and
Oh my
only
God.
one person would know.
Oh my God.
I want that to happen now. That's
He would do that though. He would do that though.
I think that would be really cool.
Oh
Like,
my.
guys, no,
Yeah.
it's not in my hand. Someone else did it.
Quinn, please.
Not my fault. I would like to see that happen now, actually. Of course, first and foremost, Quinn not even being on my team in
This
personally
is why I picked him.
love Quinn. I was so upset when I did not get him, but it's fine, Chris. It's
I
fine,
saw
Chris.
right through it. I saw right
But
when he started talking about like every like super fan stuff. Like the people who say they're super fans
mm-hmm,
confidently,
mm-hmm.
they're gonna be good players.
Yeah. And so we're seeing that
And
with Quinn. So maybe he's on the good track of saving himself or using deepfake HOH on his own HOH reign would be fantastic.
mm,
I'd love to see that. I think it would
I
be
would
great
love to see that.
television. Great
Great
television.
television.
That was Sunday. That was just Sunday. And
Yeah,
we didn't even get into the dynamics of the household yet. Because
that was Wednesday. That was
that'll be
big Wednesday.
Wednesday. So we'll go with
Character
our
development.
character development for many happens on Wednesday. The veto comp was played. It was a spelling competition that that Lisa did win the spelling comp. She takes
The
herself
spelling
off,
bee.
and Angela replaces her with Matt. Now,
Crazy
how did we
eyes.
get here?
How did we get here?
How did we get here? Because I don't think Angela and Matt were the best of friends prior to the
Even on
noms.
Sunday.
Exactly.
Yeah,
They had a bit of a
on Sunday.
conversation. I think this
Was it
happened on
Sunday?
Sunday too, but I think it was on Sunday when she had her her
The first
one-on-ones.
one.
The first
Um,
ones? Or did they show that
I was
Wednesday?
referring to when they were all sitting in the bathroom and Angela
Oh,
got
yes.
that was like the icebreaker. That
When
was what broke the ice.
there were people chilling in the bathroom, which happens a lot on Big Brother, and it's weird, but it's fine. It's just a big open room. But it was like Cam and T-Core were just showering, and people were hanging out, and Angela and Matt were in there, and like Cam's talking about like fixing people's backs or like like he could, I don't know what he does, but anyway, Matt's like, oh yeah, my back hurts or whatever, and Angela's like, well, don't fix that until after the competition, and everyone's like, ooh girl, and
Ooh.
Matt's like, yo, he's like, we really doing this now, Angela? And Angela
He's
is a
like, yeah,
character.
bro.
She's like, yeah, bro. She's just like, that was so like
Uncalled for.
uncalled for, but I also don't necessarily think it was malicious. It was just like there was a
No, that was
lot,
by the way she was acting later in the week, that was 1000%
but like
malicious.
I think it was just like in the moment, I think it was just like funny haha. Like guys, like after I thought it was more of a general like everyone like don't help anyone out before this comp because it's a comp. I feel like it was a lot of like breaking the
But like,
fourth wall on that first
yeah,
episode from her where it's just like thinking about
like why would
like
you say that?
why would you say
Why
that?
would
But
you say that? Everything that comes out of Angela's mouth, that's the first question that comes to my mind. Why would you say that?
why would you do that?
What is the point of saying that?
But like I get it if she was thinking that, but she did say it out loud. So
But like you
that
don't have to say that
yeah, you
because
could
now
think
she's
it.
a target.
Yes.
She literally put a target on her back with one sentence, and
Hmm.
then she made it worse.
She did make it worse.
Later on,
But Matt didn't help either, which we'll get
I'm not a
into.
huge fan of Matt just
Hmm.
because he seems like the very boring archetype of player.
Hmm.
But I do feel bad for him because he didn't really do anything. When she had
So,
his one-on-one,
hmm
when Angela had her one-on-one with Matt right before the the reckoning,
the
the BB house wreck. Uh,
kidding.
the I don't even know what you would call it because Angela has this one-on-one with Matt. Matt's like, "Hey, dude, I think it's pretty messed up that you just decided to say all these passive-aggressive comments about me." And she would took that as verbal abuse
Hmm.
because he won. Obviously, if someone says that to me, I'm not going to be in good graces with you.
Hmm.
And I would probably be targeting you too. And I don't know if
Hmm.
he said that he was targeting her, but if he did, who cares? You brought it on yourself.
So he essentially did say, like, yeah, if you put me up, I'm gonna put you up next
Yeah,
week if I have the chance, because that's just how the game works.
yeah.
But the thing is that this is another incident though, where like, do you say that? I feel like Angela's initial was a little bit more like, whoa, why would you do that?
You
But with
don't
this,
say
it's
that
like,
around
you
Angela.
don't say it out loud. You don't say it to the HOH, the person who's in power, the person who's putting people up, putting replacement people up, who has the most power this week, as far as you know, because there are the other powers that he didn't know about at this point, I believe,
Yeah.
where why would you say that out loud to the person in power? Now, Angela, well, I guess we'll get to the next point first, but this is an important conversation between these two that
Yes.
I could say seems to be interpreted differently by both members of this conversation, because we'll go back to reflection on that. You
Yeah.
know, though, a bit more about this alliance before we get into the reckoning.
Okay. Yeah, because the alliance is also very important when we're discussing the fight. Now, we have the first of unofficial official alliance formation still in the works. We're not super sure if it still exists. But Quinn, Chelsea, and Cedric, I believe. It was the three of them. Oh, Cam was there too. Cam was there too. Um, they were in a room. It was the blue one. and they were all discussing an alliance between the likes of Quinn, Chelsea, Tikor, Cedric, Chemo, Angela at the time, Cam, and Joseph, called the Collective. Crazy name, by the way. Go Quinn. Good name. First non-cheesy sounding, terrible alliance name that's trying to be cool.
Was this the one that Quinn like came into the house with?
Yeah. He was
It
like,
was
I've
like,
always wanted to name an alliance the Collective.
I'm
And then
gonna do
everyone was
this.
on board.
I love it.
I like it. I like the name. I dig it. But anyways, so they go around the house. They start recruiting these people. Everyone's like, oh my God, wow, alliance. Whoa. This could have been a really good alliance
Mm-hmm.
if it still exists. Maybe it is. I'm unaware because live feed stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're still working in silence and we don't know.
The
Um,
Silent Collective.
the silent collective.
In part two.
Um, so we get the montage and then they go up to Angela's room. They're like, "Hey, Angela, want to be in our alliance?" And it's kind of out of left field at this point, cause like, but also not really because she's the HOH.
Mm-hmm.
So like, why not add the HOH that no one would really suspect to be in this alliance, but she also seems to be a pretty good game player. Angela decides that she is going to be the most paranoid person on the planet.
To summarize then, at this point, I have the collective seems to be Quinn, Chelsea, Tikor, Cedric, Chemo, Cam, Joseph, Angela, four question marks. For a little bit of context about what we're going to talk about, apparently Angela at this point she's paranoid, as you said. She's exhausted. I know the house guests
She's not
kind of
sleeping.
let her take a nap, right? Which is interesting. They're giving someone some space. Week one, we're gonna give everyone space because they're respectful people, it seems. So Angela's in her HOH room. It seems like everyone's chilling. They're in the bathroom. They're in the kitchen. She comes down. And she's like, I think she starts clapping, right? And then the kitchen, they start clapping, right? Starts with
Uh-huh.
Tucker. They're like, so clap, like, yeah, like the queen has left her quarters
Abode.
and she's well rested and today's gonna be a great day and everyone starts clapping, right? The slow clap, like, yeah, she's coming down. She's like, Matt.
I got it. How'd it go? It is pretty good. It's like actually. Matt.
What did you do?
She didn't even get down the stairs.
She didn't
She was like
even-
standing above them like
She's on this landing.
they're God.
She's standing above them and she goes on a 9-minute tirade about how Matt went into her room and verbally threatened her and attacked the HOH. And he's got crazy eyes.
Crazy.
and other things. Do you remember other details? Again, it was over 9 minutes. I saw these
Quick
clips.
cliff notes. Matt has crazy eyes.
I want to have
Matt is
fun with all of you.
manipulative. Matt is pretty. Matt is gonna get in a showman's. Matt is the worst ever. Why did you fake an alliance and invite me into an alliance that's fake? And I know who you are, and there's an alliance right now. Matt is terrible. I hate you, Matt. Matt, your parents are disappointed in you.
Matt's parents come up
Matt's
more.
parents got the most.
Matt's parents were literally mentioned more times than Rabina this week.
This week.
Rabina was brought up like none. Both of Matt's parents far too many
Matt's parents
times.
had more screen time than Rebecca.
I really just want to have fun with you guys. Except for you. Don't talk to me. I want to have so much fun with all of you.
So thank you for the synopsis. That is how the 9 minutes went.
That was like each minute. I counted to
Yeah,
9,
yeah.
if you didn't notice, guys.
And so the funny thing is too is Matt is clapping at the beginning too. Quick like, like oh boy, this is not what we expected.
Stop the
Yapping at
car.
him. He's asking questions throughout this because he does not realize that he is Crazy Eyes. He does not understand in this
She
moment.
wasn't using his name.
Wasn't using his name, and maybe doesn't know that he's got crazy eyes. He does have pretty. His eyes go wide.
His eyes.
Um, but there is a physical appearance attack then by Angela on top of game attack. Complaining about how he threatened her, and yeah, how dare you? There's a big alliance. How dare you guys create this fake alliance for me? At this point, I think she's again intensely paranoid. I don't think a nap ever happened. This is someone who hasn't slept.
Yep.
Again, this is a whole social experiment aspect of the show. You're in this controlled environment that you do not control. It's brand new, week one. You have power. What are you going to do with it? And you don't like something that someone said to you, you're going to take that and run. Now, the truth is, did Matt attack her? Not really.
No, not at all.
But he goes on to
He,
talk about how she made this up, which is not true either. He did say the things that she claimed he said. He did say,
which,
I'm
and
gonna
she
put you
just,
up next week. But it wasn't uncalled for. But still,
yeah,
why would you say that to the
it
person
was
in
all
power?
game.
It was all
That's
game.
true. I wouldn't say that to the HOH. But also, like, was he really I mean, obviously anything can happen and you don't mouth off to the HOH just for your
Mm-hmm.
ego. I just think that like I would put more of it on Angela if it
Mm-hmm.
was if I had to like analyze the situation. I would put more fault on Angela strictly because one, why would you bring up like his parents when like you're lying? Like she's lying in the sense that she's blowing up the situation to be way larger than it is. Like
Oh
he
yeah.
didn't verbally threaten her.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen, and you're trying to leverage that by saying your parents are gonna be disappointed in you when you can literally just watch the show and know that she's lying about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like why that doesn't make you look like a good person.
No, it was a bit much. I can't
A
deny.
little too
As
much.
okay, as a
I
viewer, it
started
was
getting second.
certainly entertaining.
I started getting secondhand embarrassment.
It was a lot. It was really a lot. I thought it was overall, I think it was pretty funny. I enjoyed the little clips that I saw all over Twitter.
I like the one that you were talking about. Where it's like, I want to have fun with all of you guys, not you.
Not you. Oh my God. It was funny. And I'm glad though that we are in a week one where this is going on because the last couple seasons everyone's just kind of like
Week one has
chilling,
been so
trying to
boring.
be friendly with one another as long as they can, not make any waves. There were so many waves.
There's so many
So
waves.
many waves this
All
week.
the waves.
And it was great watching it. Not so great for Matt. Kind of cringe for Angela at times, can't deny. But the parents thing is definitely weird. There's a lot of mention of his parents too because Kenny feels this attachment to Matt because of Matt's father being a police officer, which Matt doesn't even know because Kenny is a food truck person in the
It's like
game.
he's like a secret admirer.
Yeah. Yeah, and Matt's got no idea. But that was fun. Angela,
That
that
was
was
fun.
fun. But then again, I hand back alliances to you for
More
this week.
Alliance talk. Um, so yes, immediately after the big blow up, the big bang, We get a shocking revelation from one Quinn. Quinn reveals that he has a final two with Angela.
Great timing, Quinn.
Crazy timing. Um, Quinn actually, I I believe that you did mention in a previous episode or in our previous notes that Quinn wants to attach himself to the emotional people,
Mm-hmm.
which is very likely some a part of his strategy, attaching
Mm-hmm.
himself to Angela specifically because she's very volatile and it would be easy to beat her
Mm-hmm.
if he can take her far. Um, so we'll see how it goes with that, but I think he's gonna honor this final two just
Mm-hmm.
because it's a free win. Um, but it's an interesting combo and a very interesting revelation, for that matter, because of the timing, strictly because it was right after that fight.
That was
Um,
very, very funny and silly. What do we think about the name of this duo? They named themselves BB Guns.
BB guns.
I think that's kind of cute.
It's kind of silly.
It's cute.
Um, I agree. And then we get a showmance.
But but how dare you accuse Matt of being in a
Yeah,
showmance?
God. I'm sorry, Matt. I
Matt,
apologize.
a huge part of Matt's thing with Angela is that Angela's like, oh, all the girls are gonna want a piece of that, and they're gonna want Matt so badly.
Why is
And
she
Matt's like,
projecting?
I know. And Matt's
It's
like,
a little
like,
strange.
how dare you stereotype me into being like someone who just is here for a showmance? His whole introduction to the show was like, yeah, I want to get into showmance. Like, you never know what will happen. Like, all blah, blah, blah. I was like, how dare you? And then guess what he does? What does he do,
He
Chris?
gets right into a
He,
showman.
he gets into a showmance with
See, it'd be kind of
Mackenzie.
difficult. I mean, maybe it's just a matter of like I don't care what Angela says, so I'm gonna do it I'm gonna play my game how I play my game, and if this just happens to happen, then it's whatever. But the fact that like that was like like a really really big part of Angela's meltdown,
Mhm.
and we see it, it's just so ironic. It's just like
It's
there was so much going on this week.
great to see a tirade, to see that the alliance she was invited to was actually pretty truthful, but she's going off about that. And then to see Quinn is like, now I'm stuck with this. And then to see Matt being accused of being in a showmance, he's like, how dare you? And then he's in a showmance. What? But before we move on to Thursday, I'd say the important point of this as well to go into the powers that we spoke about before. That Mackenzie, I don't know which episode, but does end up revealing to Matt that she
Oh,
has
yeah, it was on Wednesday.
America's veto.
It was on
Before
Wednesday.
then, Quinn also admits to Angela that he has the deepfake HOH. And
Oh, he
so,
does?
yes.
Really?
So Angela does know. So for both of them, at least one other person is aware of their powers. And, she's appreciative of finding that out. And of course, Matt appreciates knowing America's veto. But this also means, as we revealed that on Wednesday, Angela replaces Lisa with Matt. And now Mackenzie is in this weird spot of do I save my showmance or do I keep this power a little longer? But he also knows that I have it. And thus we move into Thursday.
We had a new, probably not even exist. I don't think it exists anymore. I really don't think anyone else is going to be a part of this. But the barber shop, coined by Matt himself, Consisting of Matt, Cam, Cedric, Chelsea, Brooklyn, Mackenzie, Leia, and Rabina. First Rabina mention.
Yay,
Three Matt's
Rabina!
parents mentions.
Even in this
Just
show.
saying. But it was curated by Matt.
hmm Was
We
was this
got
in his pantry moment or was it elsewhere?
yes. This was in the pantry.
Matt's bedroom, he moved out of whichever room he was in. He just decided to live in the pantry this week. Well, we're about to talk about how that went because next we have the very first BBAI
AI
Arena
Arena.
competition. Now, this
Yeah.
is when I woke up to it. Again, all week there were mentions of the AI Arena, and I'm like, yeah, I must have missed something down the line because then people were speculating about how this is going to play into the nominations and the eviction at the end of the week. Like, what does this entail? So, in fact, what this
Well, they did explain it when they
I know,
announced
and
it.
I wasn't, I was locked out.
They just kind of locked out.
I was
Yeah.
like it, but it all made sense on this night
Yeah.
because essentially what this competition was is the three nominees took part in this comp, and the winner was to be taken down from the block, and then the vote would only be between the two remaining nominees. This is comp night. So
Hmm.
actually during this live episode, they're fighting for their lives to be voted on very soon, and it is between Chemo, Kenny, and Matt, who are currently on the block. And essentially, the comp was they had to look at a series of screens, and there were clips of their fellow house guests, and they had to determine which house guest was shown on all the screens the most.
The most. Yeah.
I never would have won this
Me
competition.
neither.
I
I
the
think they
only
also
way.
made it a lot harder on
Mm,
TV because they didn't show all the screens and all of the monitors had different sets of videos playing.
the only way I would have won is by random guess, because at that point you have like
And I wonder if
mm,
the winner's guess was a guess because everyone guessed someone different.
so the three house guests they guess three different people, and it turns out that Quinn was the one on there the most, and Chemo was the one who guessed correctly. Yippee! And not just a yippee for me on my personal outlook on the show, yippee for the house. These three walk down from the top of the stairs. So this happens on the second floor inside the house. They walk down, the entire house is clapping really loud. They seem so super excited. And I'm here like, okay, I know why I'm clapping. Why are all of you clapping?
Yeah.
Very interesting. It seems like the majority of the house was really hoping that Chemo would win. Or were they really hoping that someone else would not?
I have a feeling that most of the house wanted Matt to win. I I can't see a reason why they wouldn't want Matt to win.
They
And
wanted.
granted, yes, they
Mm,
were saying like you have this opportunity week one, you take it to get rid of someone like Matt,
mm.
but like he kind of got unfairly like put in this position. You know what I mean?
So you think that the house wanted Matt to come down?
I think that they were gonna clap regardless of who won.
Mm. So
But I think the
I.
house wouldn't
Mm,
have cared if it was Matt,
I
honestly.
think. I thought at this point the house was low key thinking we don't need Matt. There's this weird tension that we could do without, and he's probably the one to go. That's what I was thinking. I also
I
think at
feel
this
like,
point, Chemo and Kenny, what have they really done?
yeah, no, that's fair. I feel like if anyone were to go, that would have like made no effect in the game. Kenny would probably be the one to go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anything would have happened if Kenny, and it probably, and it would have been better if we got to see Matt take Angela out. Because I think most of the house would have rallied behind that.
Mm-hmm.
You think so? Like, I don't, well, considering like the rest of the house is unaware that Matt or that Angela and Quinn are working together. And Quinn has a bunch of alliances in his pocket. Like, he's playing every side of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So if his alliance mates like decide, hey, let's just ride it out and get rid of Angela so that we don't have this force in the house that is willing to break anything that she feels threatens her. I would want to get rid of that,
Mm-hmm.
which is probably why most of the house next week is going to skew towards her as a target because of how many waves that she's making.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of difficult to play the game when you have a force like that in play.
This is true. I was also side searching for something that I heard about, but I can't find proof of it. So I'm just going to relay this as a rumor, right? That I heard a rumor
Rumor.
that house guests were actually able to hear the live audience during the Thursday episode when Chemo won this AI arena, and they heard them cheer loudly, and now they know that the audience loves Chemo. This was reported to me, and again, it is just rumor, for I don't know the source, but I'm interested to see if this is taken into account, if this is addressed on air, which it probably won't, because that is an error on the production's side, I suppose. But I wonder if they're gonna comment on, oh, we know that people like this person. Do we keep him? Do we get rid of him? Question. So, of course, I don't want to
That could
see
be
any.
bad.
Yeah, I would be disappointed to see if outside powers influence what goes on in the game, but whether you like it or not, and if this is true, then that means that people in the house are aware that the outside world likes Chemo. So who knows? Maybe that will come into play.
It could also be something that someone like Mackenzie could leverage because her power comes from America. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously, a small room of people isn't America.
Real. Where
Like that
America?
small sample size
Mm-hmm.
could get you thinking.
Yeah.
Like if
So
I use America's veto, Chemo isn't. There's a chance. There's a good chance, a better chance, because I know that a sample of people, a majority of a sample of people like Chemo.
mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see if she picked up on that, if anyone does, if it's addressed by one of the episodes. Again, I feel
Mhm.
like it may not be because it seems to be a
It's very
production error.
minor, but yeah.
Because otherwise, if it was when someone opened the door to leave the house, I would understand that. But how do they hear that? But again, just a rumor. Curious to see if that plays into anything. But where we are right now in this recap is Chemo just won the very first BBAI Arena comp of the season. Everyone cheers. This leaves Matt and Kenny on the block. Now at this
Time
point,
for eviction.
again, it's time for eviction. The funniest part of it was that so Matt and Kenny and Angela obviously can't vote this week. Cedric and Chelsea both have this downgrade that means that they're wearing these chip this what is it called? Like a computer,
The mascots,
the mascot,
AI
their
avatar,
mascots.
AI avatar mascots.
They look like these computer chips, and they're wearing funky gloves and everything, and they're really big, and it seems like it's hard to move around in them, but they cannot vote. Was Chemo able to vote?
Yes.
Chemo was able to. So, regardless, though, there's a handful of people who can't. The funniest part of this vote was that no one told Joseph to go back into the room. He just hung out in the hallway, waiting for someone else to come in. In the little hall between the living room and the diary room. Oh my god,
Oh,
that's where we
in
are.
in
You
the
could in this hallway when people like they high five, they do like a little bit, and Joseph
was he
just
the
stood
last
there.
vote?
He was the last one, but probably
That's
didn't
why.
realize it. He probably did not know because of the number of people
Yeah.
who couldn't vote this week. He just stood there with his hands folded, like waiting for the next person to come
I
in.
didn't notice that.
I noticed that and they kept the camera on him for way too long.
I want to
And
rewatch
I
this.
believe it was through watching like interviews and podcasts and all that kind of stuff. I believe it was Taylor Hale that mentioned that production can't get to you in that hallway. Apparently, there's not like in the diary room, there has to be some kind of communication with the producer, there's some kind of screen that they talk to, there's some communication, and then in the rest of the house there's announcements above,
Yeah.
Joseph, please come to the diary room. But apparently in this hallway there's little to no communication, so he just kind of stood there. They kept the camera on him for a little bit too long, and then they just cut to it, and eventually he popped up. But that was very silly. I enjoyed that moment. Very real of these people in this house, and a funny
Yeah.
moment to end off a very serious week.
I need to get like a screen cap of
Yeah,
Joseph just sitting there
just
like
sitting there
this
waiting
in the
patiently,
hallway. That's gonna be my profile.
and and it was a fun silly moment before the outcome of the eviction. We find out very soon that I don't know if I'm going to deliver this incorrectly, but an 8-3
It
vote,
it was 8-3.
8-3 vote, Matt is evicted.
You are evicted from the Big Brother house.
Insert music here. And so,
Dun.
and then Crazy Eyes is like,
Ah!
ah! So, week one, Matt is evicted from the household. Those who voted to keep Matt were Lisa, Mackenzie, and Leah, and everyone else voted to keep Kenny. And then Matt out the door. And he talks to Julie Chen, who reads back his quote. When he spoke to Angela, she's like, okay, so about Angela, he's like, yeah, whatever. By the way, do you know that you said these exact words? And read the quote back about, I'd put you up because you put me up, whatever. And based on his expression, it seemed like he did not realize that that is in fact what Angela was referring to, because he didn't think it was as intense as she was describing it, which isn't wrong. But when he was in the house, both of them are like, well, you'll check the tapes. You'll check the tapes. You're going to see this when you get out of the house that you're crazy. It's like, well, yeah, Angela did take it in
One
light,
of
but Matt did say things.
yeah.
And so Julie
It
put
was
him in his
very
place.
gamey though. I think it
Mm-hmm.
was a game on game. It was kind of dumb to say that to the HOH, like we
Yeah.
said. Also, one thing I will note, um, according to my girlfriend, because we watch it with my family and like everybody, she said in the live feeds, I did not miss this, nobody else. Apparently, Matt was also being rude to Lisa
Mm-hmm.
because she did not pick him to play in the veto.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like giving her similar comments that he gave to Angela
Mm.
about how he like would target her, which is
Interesting.
interesting
Hmm.
because I am unaware
Hmm.
of how to take that information. Um, but I wonder if we'll hear about it. Maybe not since he's gone, but maybe Lisa will mention it at some
Mm-hmm.
point.
You
Just
never know. Sometimes they do a little bit of reflecting on Sunday nights, so hopefully we'll get more insight into that. I know there's obviously a lot that goes down in live feeds too that doesn't make it to air. I know last year, Cam was very loved on TV, but anyone who watched the live feeds know he was not such a great person.
yeah.
So interested to see if there's any like backtracking and some insight into that. But overall, I didn't get the best of vibes from Matt, especially in the last couple of episodes.
He
Like,
just
did
seemed kind of boring.
seem boring, very cocky, very, out the door, goodbye. Oh, he was
It's
complaining, he's
whatever.
like, I got all these muscles and I didn't
Now we got
get
to get rid of
to go
Angela.
in a physical comp, and now we're gonna see what goes on with Angela. Um I think I had another thought. I know I watched a bunch of his exit interviews. One thing to note is Julie sometimes will tell the house guests in the case that there's a major historical event, but Julie did not mention any sort of political moments in the house and revealed it to him only when he left in his post interview, which I thought was interesting. But between, life updates, worldly updates, and reading back the quote of Angela, I think it's safe to assume that there is no coming back to the competition for Matt. Sometimes they have them exit and they're like, we can't tell you anything because we're going to hold you in this cell for a battle back competition of some sort. And so it seems like that is not in the cards for a one Matt. But that concludes our summary and reflection on the week. And what a great way to go into our draft update, because Matt no longer in the house. That is a great loss for a one just Chris.
Yep. That was first full week 2 technically. It is interesting because I believe that the past few years have had terrible week 1s. And I'm glad that we got an entertaining week to start off, because now we're playing the game right away. There's no
Mm-hmm.
grace period. We're in it now. So it's gonna be nice to see what kind of hijinks these the silly little house guests get up to. Um, but I'm really excited to see the rest of the season play out. Um, how are you sharing the same sentiment, Nicole?
Yes, I am. I'm excited. Rocking the boat, please. I've been begging them to rock the boat.
Well, we got some rocking.
It's rocking. The
The
ocean,
boat is rocking.
it's rocking. And whether or not that plays into my favor in the long run, I'm entertained either way. And I'm really glad that we don't have a unanimous vote week 1. Um, though a lot of people didn't end up voting because of nomination win loss in some form. To see it not be completely unanimous is great. And so I'm hoping that this means for the most dynamic cast we've had in a while. And again, you could complain about Matt and Angela all you
All you
want.
want is
BB,
still entertaining.
people, are you not
Are
entertained?
you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Are you not ready to see the rest of the Big Brother house fight and duke it out and make each other's lives miserable for the next 3 months?
Yay! More misery and entertainment tonight. Big Brother is on tonight, 9 p.m., where we're going to find out who the next HOH is, see how that plays out for Angela, for any of the downgrades of the week. What is the aftermath of the aftermath? And we're going to get all of that soon. Because, Chris, your pick was Matt. This makes you a have-not for the week. Womp
I'll come in with the
womp.
cone of shame
Cone of Shame next week,
next
where
week.
we're going to find out already who will be evicted. But if you want to see more Big Brother updates, we do have an Instagram. It is at thediaryroom.wmsc. MSC. And we will be back here, same time next week, to give a whole recap of the next week. All right. Any other concluding thoughts? I think we did the thing.
Brush your teeth, wash your hands, and watch Big Brother.
Woo! Peace out.
Bye.